Okay, so today we're going to dive into a short poem from 1911. It's called Leisure, and even though it's over a century old, it asks this huge question that feels, well, maybe even more urgent today than ever. In our crazy busy lives, are we missing the whole point of being alive? Let's unpack it. So right out of the gate, the poem just hits you with this question. And it's not just some fancy poetic line, it's a direct challenge to you, to me, to all of us. What's the point of a life that's so crammed with stress and worry that we literally have no time to just stop and look around? This one question, really, it's the foundation for everything that's about to come.
So what exactly are we missing when we're so busy all the time? Well, the poem doesn't leave you hanging. It starts to paint a picture of all the simple, beautiful things that are happening all around us, every single day, that we're just too busy to even notice.
First up, it talks about the simple act of standing under the boughs, the branches of a tree. And it compares us to sheep and cows, animals that seem perfectly happy to just stand there and observe the world. It's this kind of quiet, meditative presence that, let's be honest, we almost never allow ourselves to have.
And that, right there, really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We're always moving, always on our way to the next meeting, the next errand, the next thing on the list. We walk under trees every single day, but how often do we actually stop and just exist in that spot for a minute? The poem is kind of suggesting we're losing the ability to just be present. Then, the poem zooms in on these little dramas of nature that we just walk right past. A squirrel hiding a nut in the grass. I mean, that's not just some random thing. It's a tiny story of survival, of getting ready for the future. There's a whole world of these little stories happening right at our feet, and we are completely oblivious.
You know how it is. You might be physically walking through a park or some woods, but your mind, it's a million miles away. You're thinking about your to-do list or where you have to be next. We are literally passing by life. Our bodies are there, but our minds are completely checked out.
Now, this next line, this is one of my absolute favorites. It uses this beautiful, almost magical image. How in the world can a stream be full of stars in the middle of the day? It's a fantastic little puzzle that just begs you to stop and think for a second.
So what are these stars? It's simply the reflection of the sun, glittering and sparkling on the water. The poet is saying that if you just stop and look, really look, you can find something as breathtaking as a starry night sky in a simple stream in broad daylight. There's an entire universe of beauty right there that we miss just because we don't take a second to look down.
All right, so up until now, the poem has been all about the natural world we're missing out on. But here's where it takes a really interesting turn into something a little more abstract. It introduces this powerful idea by treating beauty as if it were an actual person. Now check this out. Notice how beauty is capitalized here, like it's someone's name? The poem says we don't even have time to turn our heads when beauty herself gives us a glance. This is a classic literary device called personification, and it's absolutely crucial to understanding the poem's deeper message. So what's personification? It's actually pretty simple. It's just when you give human qualities or actions to something that isn't human. In this case, the poem takes this big, abstract idea of beauty, whether it's in art or nature or in other people, and it brings it to life as a person we could actually meet on the street. And by turning beauty into a dancer, the poem does something really clever. It makes our neglect feel so much more personal. Suddenly, it's not just that we're missing a pretty sunset, it's like we are actively ignoring a person who is trying to get our attention, trying to share something wonderful with us. It's a snub. So the poem takes this idea of beauty as a person, and it just runs with it, creating what is, for my money, the most powerful and kind of heartbreaking image in the whole piece, the ultimate cost of our constant rushing around. Yeah, this is really the climax of the poem right here. Not only do we miss beauty's dance, but even more tragically, we don't have the time to wait for a smile to fully form. This isn't just a quick grin we're talking about. It's a deep, genuine emotion unfolding in real time, and we're too impatient to stick around and witness it. Think about a real smile, the kind that's totally genuine. It always starts in the eyes. Then it takes a moment for that feeling to travel and light up the whole face. It's a process. And the poem is telling us we're so rushed we basically walk out in the middle of this beautiful human moment. We see the spark of joy begin, but we don't stick around to see it become a flame. So after walking us through all these wonders we miss, from squirrels in the grass to the completion of a genuine smile, the poem comes full circle.
It's finally ready to answer that big question it asked at the very beginning.
And there it is. The opening lines are repeated, but this time, it's not a question anymore. It's a statement, a judgment. This is the poet's final verdict on a life that's lived without these moments of pause.
And that's the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? The poem isn't just saying it's nice to slow down. It's making a much bigger argument that a life without leisure, without time to just observe the world and connect with beauty, is a poor life. It doesn't matter how much you achieve or how much money you make. If you don't have time to stand and stare, you are missing out on true richness.
Now just think about this for a second. This poem was written way back in 1911, long before smartphones, before the 24/7 news cycle, before all the notifications and endless pings for our attention. It was a critique of a world that was just starting to speed up. So that leaves us with one last big question. If the poet thought life was too full of care back then, what on earth would he say about our lives today?